Are you ready to see my 2026 plans, my Make 9, and my bingo card? Hey guys, it's Katie here. If you are unfamiliar with me, I am the Katie behind all of the patterns at Katie DeGroff Knits, the host of the Katie Knits podcast, and creator of all of the other lovely videos that you see here on my channel. Don't forget to take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on another one of my videos. And if you like this video, go give it a thumbs up and drop me a comment. Today's comment, I want you to let me know what is your number one priority for 2026. Is it a specific project or is it more of a general goal? Do you want to slow down, speed up, knit more, knit less, knit one particular thing, or conquer a skill? So I did fully intend to have this recorded and released weeks ago, but then the whole house got sick and we're still lingering, but I'm better than I was last week. You didn't want to hear me speak last week if I could. Beside the point, better late than never. Here we are. Initially, I started my list, my goal list, all that jazz, back in December. So I've had a little bit of time to sit with this and amend it and really be at peace with what I have on my docket for this year. Now, if you've caught any of my recent podcast episodes, you'll know that I've been knitting for over 17 years, and I feel in a lot of ways that this is going to be my very first year knitting and actually enjoying the entire process rather than it being a job. I went through my Ravelry queue, cleaned that out, except for next makes and things I really would like to actually make. I do plan on going through, maybe one day next week, my entire stash and making sure that is up to date on Ravelry. That's going to be fun, which is actually going to help a little bit because some of these individual shelves I would like to reorganize just a little bit so that it won't be so terrible. But at the same time I do my stash, I'm also going to be recording all of my whips into my stash diary. I got this from Summer Crochet, or is it Summer Day Crochet? I can't remember. Totally not sponsored. I bought me one and the girls each one. I got the ones that were not year specific because I didn't want to feel like if I don't fill it up, then I'm wasting space, or if I need another one, so it can just continue over. But if you have not checked out their I Made That journals, go check them out because they're pretty awesome. I'll just show you here. There's project logs, all the details, spaces where you can do some doodles and some colors, or I've even seen people paste tiny little bits of their yarn into the book. How fun is that? So next week, one day, I'm taking a priority day. It's going to be stash day and it's going to be recording whip day. The elephant in the room we're going to get out right in the beginning. Last podcast, I asked for help. I had my mitered score sock blanket that I had no desire to finish, etc., etc. Go check that video out if you want to see me have a little meltdown about it. But I do want to thank everyone for their comments, their suggestions. You did see me dump my mini bin. I did put those on my D-stash. They went like hotcakes, and some are already in the hands of their new owners. So I was able to free up space and clear off a shelf, and that made me feel good. I knew I had to part with the blanket in one way or the other. I did contact several places to potentially donate it as a whip with needles and supplies to potentially finish it. Maybe a group home or something like that would be interested. But I was met with a lot of resistance, a lot. It gave me apprehension because I felt like I was giving away a part of myself and like other people shouldn't have this because it's me. So in the end, I did respectfully part with the blanket, so it's no longer in my home. I love me or hate me for it. I'm sorry, it's what I ultimately had to do for myself, and I feel so much better for it. I feel free and with a clean slate. It was old Katie, and this is new Katie. New Katie is going to make new projects and new things. Sometimes you have to go out with the old in order to come in with the new. Moving on from that. So I do have my Make 9 in front of me. Now I have my Make 9 in front of me. I am going to put it up here on the screen too, but I'm going to read it off my phone as well. I did not want to make this. I didn't want to put myself in a box. I didn't want to put myself like shackle, handcuff myself to these plans. But then I kept looking at the plans I had in a list. And I'm like, making a Make 9 and a bingo board would be so much more cohesive and fun. Why are you thinking it as, like jail time or like, handcuffs? So I did the damn thing. I don't like to always go with trends and what's popular, so it gave me some apprehension, but I did it. First and foremost, on my Make 9, a lot of these plans are roundabout, are not one particular project. So they encompass many things in some cases, of which I will go through on my bingo board individually. Okay, starting at the top, we have finish all whips being carried over from 2025. You saw last video, I went through the whips, the dips, all the old things. All I have on my needles is what I'm carrying over. And I am very content with it. And I do want to finish all of these projects. Next up, we have finish the Indie Untangled and Rhinebeck 2025 projects. If you've been following along, we went to Indie Untangled and Rhinebeck for the very first time this year. Of course, we went as a family, and I had everybody pick out a project that they could shop for yarn for. And the only one that I've made so far is Elizabeth's sweater, which came out amazing, and she loves it. Next, you're going to see Conquer the Cats. Yeah, you won't find the herding cat socks on my bingo board because I did finish them. And they conquered me yet again. Full disclaimer, there is no issue with the pattern. Charlotte Stone makes beautiful, beautiful patterns. So go knit up all the Stone Knits patterns. This is a me issue. Be sure to check out next week's podcast to see what happened. But next up, we have hats. I want to make more hats. I would love to make some beanies, maybe a muscle burr. I don't know. Who knows? I just want to make more hats. I feel like the girls are kind of growing out of some of their hats, and I don't have any. I mean, I do have one that is like 75% done, and it's a whip going into this year, but I want more hats. I would like to use some self-striping yarn in some way. I would just like to use it. I'd like to use up my self-striping stash a little bit. It's fun. Why am I not knitting with it? I literally have a ton of it. Why am I not using it? Then you will see more sweaters for me. I would like more garments. Oh, yeah, speaking of garments, what am I wearing? So, last episode, you will have seen I was missing my one and only sweater that fits me. I found it. It's right here. So it was in all of my other hand knit pieces. I just, for some reason, didn't see it, even though it was right in front of my face. But it's on me now. This is my Mended Fences sweater. I believe the yarn is discontinued. Can't even remember what it is. It's on Ravelry if you want to go look at it. But the pattern is still available and it's a great pattern. I think I'm going to knit myself a different one because I'm not, like, I like this color, but I'm not in love with this color. And I have a lot of other beautiful sweater quantities in my stash that I may like it better in. So yeah, that may, be in the sweater column for this year. But anyway, I want more garments. I want more hand knit garments. Dips. So what's a dip? A dip is a design in progress. I started out as a knitwear designer. Still am a knitwear designer, but I no longer do it as part of a job or part of our income. So I am feeling freer to design what I want instead of what I need to. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love everything that I've ever designed, but it was for a job. So it always came with a little caveat that I need to pump it out. And I couldn't fully enjoy the process as much. So I do have a list, very, very small list compared to previous years, but there are some dips. Then the last two are quilting projects. So not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, John got me a sewing machine. And I've always wanted to get into quilting. I think it's beautiful. I think it's fun. And it's a new way to play with color for me. And using a sewing machine always scared the crap out of me. So I'm conquering that. I made a table runner, go me, but I do have the fabric and the pattern all printed out upstairs. Well, the pattern's printed out. I have the fabric upstairs. But I want to make quilted stockings for the four of us. Why don't I quilt some? So we picked some fabric out and pattern. I want to make some quilted stockings ×4. My other quilting goal for this year, which I have fabric in the mail to me right now, should be in my hot little hands by the time you see this video, but this snowstorm may delay that. But I do want to make some quilted project bags. I own a few that are specifically quilted, and I absolutely adore them. So I bought like a bunch of fabric and I'm gonna make those. Okay, are you ready to see my bingo card and talk a little bit more about these projects? So first up on the bingo card is my Ovis sweater. So for this Ovis sweater, I have the yarn pulled and the pattern printed in this bag. Also in this bag is the yarn and pattern for John's zipper sweater light, which he picked out at Rhinebeck. I picked this yarn out at Indie Untangled. So these are two of those Rhinebeck projects, all pulled and in my Rhinebeck bag from last year. So if you're unfamiliar with the Ovis sweater, it is by Caitlin Hunter, and it is sheep. If I picked anything to buy yarn for at Rhinebeck or Indie Untangled, it had to have sheep on it. And I've always loved this sweater. It's very loud and proud. I went with similar colors that she has on her sample. I have Dead Leaf from Newburgh Yarn Co. And then I also take two. I have Dead Leaf. It's actually the French words that translate to it. I have no idea how to say it. And then I have Antler Ivory and Hudson DK from Newburgh Yarn Co., which are very, very similar to the sample photos as you saw a moment ago. I saw people make them in black and white, which was really cool, but I really liked that red brown. So bought the yarn, have the pattern, it's in there. Next up, we'll just go across the top first, is Sophia's Pillow. This was another Rhinebeck project. She wanted a heart pillow. So She picked out some yarn at Indian Tangled from Frogate Yarns, and then she picked out some mohair to go with that yarn at Rhinebeck from Miss Babs, and then she also picked out a Stranger Things mini set from Primrose Yarn Co. at Rhinebeck. So that's going to become a heart pillow for her. I think that'll be a really fun project. I'm not using a pattern per se, we're just gonna wing it and see what comes of it, but I think it's gonna be really fun. Next up, oh my goodness, so excited for this one. This is my quilt blanket made with the insane amount of advents I have from Oakwood Knits from last year. I bought 2 advents and 4 extra main skeins, so I have a lot of yarn to make this. But I have had this idea for a while. And initially I wanted to have the pattern done so I could knit it actually when I was opening my advent, but I thought in the end it was better for me to actually, see it in person, the colors and all that jazz. So making my quilted inspired advent blanket, that's a dip. So that's dip number 1. Then I want to finish my holiday finch sweater. It's probably 2/3 of the way done, borderlining on 3/4. So it shouldn't take me too long, but I am plugging along with it. I love it. I cannot wait to wear it. Even though it's Christmas colors, and I may have the yarn in my mailbox and arriving at my house within the next hour to make a second non-holiday finch sweater. Yeah. Next up, you will see Release, my fresh fern cardigan. This, if you've been following me along, was a collaboration with Tracy of Sassy String Studio. And yeah, it was supposed to be a shawl. I don't even know when we started talking and actually agreed upon this but it was originally supposed to be a shawl. Then halfway through the shawl, I got the idea to make it a cardigan. And then she sent me more yarn, and then I poorly estimated and ran out, and tariffs kicked in. And then it was going to go into testing, but it was right before the holidays, and everybody that I have a list of that wanted to test it was like, let's wait until after the holidays. So I actually need to release that. It's probably honestly going to go into testing next month, and then probably late summer release. Next up is my Pillow Pop Cowl. This is a whip that I'm carrying over. This is Mafia style because it's done in Buffalo Bills inspired yarn from Meg's & Co. Great travel project. It's like 3/4 done too, but it's something I don't need the pattern for. I can literally pick up and go and stop at any point in any row. So that's just going to be my travel project. John Zipper Sweater Light is on there. That is his Rhinebeck project from this year. He picked out yarn from Primrose Yarn Co. And all we need is the zipper, and I can get started on that. Then you'll see Mystery Note, because if you watched my last video when I had my little cry for help and was going through my whips again, you will have seen this. And initially I was going to rip back the entire thing. The pattern is in this bag with all the yarn. But then I was ripping, and the hat was separate. So, because I didn't know where I was in the pattern. So I have mystery hat. The pattern and the yarn are in the bag. So yeah, I'm gonna finish the mystery gnome at some point this year. I think that'll be a fun project too, to pick up randomly when I need a break from something else. Because I know where I am in the pattern now. I have the yarn, and it's something totally different. And there's loads of cables in it. So sometimes I'm craving like reading a chart and doing technical things that will fulfill my needs at that time. Then you see my quilted stockings ×4. As we talked about earlier, I want to quilt our stockings. And I already have the fabric for that, so just have to get them started. My Harlow hat. Oh my goodness. This is not part of the more hats category on my Make 9. This is part of the whips being carried in. This is probably 2/3 done, and it may not look like it here, but this is a folded brim that I tacked down, and now I'm just working the top until I decrease. So that shouldn't take me too long. Then we have quilted project bags. Like I told you earlier, I've got the yarn coming in the mail. I do want to try to make them. I think it'll be fun little brain break that gives me something to totally take my mind off whatever I'm doing at the time. Totally attainable goal. Now we come to more hats. I want some beanies or something. I feel like every single hat I've ever tried to make myself doesn't fit because it's too small in circumference. It just, I don't like them. I don't make them big enough. So I want some more hats. Then you'll see sock set dip. You're going to see this a few more times. I am coming out this year with a sock set pattern collection, and I have been asked so many times to create patterns for sock sets that are not necessarily socks. So I am still undecided of the schedule for this or exactly how many are going to be in the collection, but I have 4 hammered down. So at this point, that's why there's 4 on the bingo card. So I have 4 hammered down. What is my sock set pattern collection? They're going to feature the same exact sock set in both a sock and an accessory. So you can see it both ways with the same exact yarn. So like I said, I got 4 hammered down. Not sure how they're going to release. They're going to release sometime later this year. And keep an eye out for more details. Then we have my Ooey Gooey holiday socks. Those are a whip being carried over from last year. I think I may actually try to finish those before I go back and do the cats, because they do have color work in them, and oh my goodness, do I need practice? What do I need to do? These cats are killing me. Another sock set dip, as we just discussed. Then another sock set dip. Then frogget shawl. This is another dip. I have very few commitments this year. This is one of them. I started talking to Tasha and Brian last year about collaborating with them. They offered so many times. I was like, okay. I was so resistant because I don't want it to seem like work, but I'm like, okay, accepting just a couple things is still 100 million times better than 20 things. So I can do this. And I came up with a really fun idea. Some little elements that I've wanted to try for a while. So I'm designing a DK weight shawl for Frogget Yarns. Then I have my second Finch sweater. I love this pattern. I can't shout it from the rooftops enough. I freaking love it. My holiday version is like 3/4 done, but you know, I feel like I can wear it other times of the year, but I want something to wear after Christmas. So I ordered yarn from Granite State Yarns. That's the yarn that'll be here in within the hour. I'm going to make myself a second striped Finch sweater. And this time in like a grayish white and rainbow colors. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm going to do the stripes differently. They're not going to be big. They're going to be like different. So it'll have a totally different feel to it. And I love the fit so far. Oh my goodness. Then we have Sophia's striped cardigan. Initially, I was going to design this, but I don't have the brain power to. So I grabbed the Seasons cardigan by Ozetta. Let's just say this for now. I will vent more in the next podcast, but I absolutely am going to adore the finished product, and so is she. But getting there, I am very upset with the whole process. Yeah. I don't want to say this without completely discouraging, but if you do purchase this pattern, be prepared to watch the linked help videos, which are on her website, because you're going to need information out of those and the written pattern to actually complete it. Not everything is in the written part of the pattern, which is not stated, which I'm just having a very frustrating time with this, but I think I'm in a groove now. Oh my goodness. But I have it started. It's on my needles. It's something she's wanted, and I've had the yarn for a very long time. Next year's Mystery Knit Along. My annual birthday, Mystery Knit Along, kicks off January 29th of every year. So that means this week, Thursday, this one kicks off. So I got to do next year's. That's not something I can show because it's a mystery, but I do need to work it up. So that is going to be crossed off when it does get completed. Now, this is like my bonus box. I really want this in my wardrobe, and I haven't seen an exact pattern that fits exactly what I want, so I'm going to design it instead. I do have yarn here from Sassy String Studio in their DK and their Surreliciously Surrey Lace. I freaking love the fabric that is in my Fresh Fern cardigan by holding those two yarns together. I want a, maybe not necessarily a boxy fit, but a slightly oversized fit, drop shoulder, all over cabled sweater. Can't find a pattern that's exactly fitting my needs, so I'm gonna design one. This is like my bonus square. I'm not 100% sure it's gonna happen. It may start to happen this year and then finish up next year. I don't know, but I really want it. This is my like want. Next up, you will see the Nana Gnome. I successfully completed my very first Mystery Knit Along that I've participated in ever this past December with the Non-Dad's Adventure Mystery Gnome by the Gnome Queen Sarah Shira of Landscape Designs. Well, he was a companion to the previous year's gnome, Nana. So I have the yarn left over from his kit, so I'm going to make her. Then there's another sweater for me. As I said, I want more garments. So in previous years, the one thing that my stash lacked was sweater quantities. I really didn't have any. Now I focused last year on purchasing more. So I have enough that if I want a sweater, I have enough quantities here that I can just pick something up and grab it. And I have enough patterns queued up or in my library that I've purchased that I have a nice wide variety. So if I just say, you know what, I want another sweater for me on the needles, I can do that. Then we have our final sock set dip. Now there may be more in this collection than just 4, but for right now I have 4 designs that I'm solid on and the yarn here for them. So I just have to cast them on. Then I have my last dip, which is my Slouchy on Purpose socks. If you saw any of my, whoops, I just threw them on the ground. If you saw any of my recent videos, you'll have seen that the girls got me a absolutely amazing double knit sock blanket from Fiber MacGyver for Christmas. And I had this design sketched out all the way from last June or July. Let me grab the yarn. It's coming, people. So back last, oh, she didn't put a month on this, but I think it was June or July of last year. I got the Frogette Yarns, I believe it was their 8th anniversary box, maybe 7th. I think it was 8th. And in there was a sock set in their Frog and Toad Are Friends colorway. And as soon as I saw this, I immediately got the idea. I have fat calves, okay? Little side note, background information. You may or may not want, but you're getting it anyway. I have fat calves. I'm a short person. So like my ankle is skinny and then it just goes into my calf. So it makes knitting socks hard that have any design or any length to the leg. So I thought, how fun would it be to knit slouchy socks, like socks that slouched down and like scrunched up on purpose? How many times are there socks made that, oh, they're too big, or they're sagging and they're not supposed to be sagging? Well, what if these were meant to do that? So back when I got this yarn in the mail, sketched out the idea, wrote it up, and then when the girls gave me the sock blank, it was like, I have to be able to use every possible inch of this yarn because it's so beautiful and it needs to be used in one fell swoop. So I started. And if you'll have watched my whip video last week, my dear apologies are in it because every time I showed the toes, it looked awkward. It looked inappropriate. And I didn't know quite why. And then I figured it out that they looked like saggy boobs. And I'm really sorry. And they're out of the boob phase now. They have heels. Very, very happy with the heel. I chose a shadow wrap heel for these. Literal perfect fit. Now I'm on the leg design. Oh my gosh, I almost can't put these down. So these may be finished rather quickly, and let's all just take a moment to appreciate Steve. Who, of course, by Kelsey of Littlest Charm Co. Like, I don't go a video without mentioning her. She showed me that the other day, and I'm like, I don't do it for, like, to expect anything in return. I do it because I absolutely love your charms. So, I am working out my slouchy on purpose sock dip. Now, I am so at peace with these goals. I am so at peace with the variety I have. I feel like it's not only a variety in textures and patterns, but types between sweaters, between socks, between hats, between weights of yarn. Are they fingering weight? Are they going to be sport or worsted or held together with a fluff or not? Multicolored, solid colored. I think I nailed it. I have never really honestly made plans. I've made extremely loose plans. Never on paper, never on camera. And I am really excited to see how this year plays out with them. So check back late December, early January, and we'll see how many things I tick off my list and my bingo card. So I did put a poll up here on YouTube and over on Instagram about my future podcasting schedule. When do you want to see them? How long do you want them to be? And when do you want me to post them? Overwhelmingly, everybody wanted to see them a little closer to 30 minutes, posted at the beginning of the week, and weekly. So, starting this week, we are moving to a Tuesday schedule, and they're going to be weekly. So, the date you'll be seeing this is Tuesday, January 27th. On Thursday, January 29th, that's my birthday. And that is when Clue 1 of the Funfetti Mystery Knit Along drops. So excited. There's still time. This is a perfect stash diving pattern. Go check out my Ravelry group. Everything's linked below that I talk about. Go check out my Ravelry group. Go check out the pattern. Tons of amazing prizes. There's great chatter. Everybody's always so wonderful and welcoming every year. I love it. And side note to self, when I go to the grocery store today, I need to pick up Funfetti cake mix and frosting. Must have. So that's going to be out. If you haven't joined in or grabbed the pattern, go do so. What are you waiting for? My mystery knit-alongs every year, I #1 strive to create a wearable piece at the end. You're going to have fun knitting it. It's going to be a great process. But in the end, you're going to have something you can wear. How many times have we had mystery knit-alongs where it's fun, it's beautiful, but I'm not going to wear that. So mine are a little different in that respect. But then check back next week, Tuesday, for another regular podcast episode where I'll update you on all of my whip progress and anything that came in the mail. It's going to be the return of the Target basket. trying to stay more organized. I feel like Vlogmas totally took me off the rails, and all the organization that I had just went away. So check back next week for that. In the meantime, until we chat again, let me know, what's your number one goal for this year? Do you have a goal, like a general goal, something you want to work on, like a technique goal, or is it project specific? I love hearing other people's thoughts and projects because that's how I find out a lot of the things I wind up working on. I hope your fiber is plentiful and you can treat yourself in some way with a sweet treat or something lovely. And in the meantime, happy knitting.